there's the border. U.S. Customs and Border Protection are reporting the highest number of migrant encounters in history in the month of May. We have new numbers this morning. More than 239,000 illegal migrants were encountered at the border last month. This is the most in any one month. It is not just illegal migrants coming across the border. A Tennessee sheriff's office is now warning the public not to pick up folded dollar bills off of the ground because they may contain fentanyl. It comes after two separate incidents at a local gas station. Joining me right now is Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. She's a member of the Judiciary, Armed Services, and Commerce Committees. Senator, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Good to see you.
This is chilling. This is chilling. So now we are worried about picking up dollar bills because they are laced with fentanyl?
That is what is happening, and this is what has happened in a Tennessee county. Another sheriff told me they had apprehended rolled gummies. These are gummy bears that have been tainted with fentanyl. And Maria, all of this is coming across the border. This is why every town is a border town, every state a border state, until we get that border secured. And the thing is, Joe Biden and his administration, their border policy is an open border. They are not giving law enforcement either at the border or across the country what they need to deal with these cartels who are forcing drugs, primarily fentanyl. Everything's laced with fentanyl now, even dollar bills and gummy bears. And people are saying, hey, wait a minute, what if you touch a dollar bill? What if it's there? Do you need to be wearing gloves in order to handle cash? Think about what is happening and the fear that this is pushing into communities all across the country.
Well, I mean, this is just extraordinary. Have we heard from Joe Biden about this? I mean, I know that he has not addressed the fentanyl crisis at all. As we have been talking about the incredible seizures, they're seizing so much fentanyl at the border. It's killing American citizens. Is there anything to be done with the CCP? I mean, many of the underlying components of fentanyl are made in China. Why are they pushing this into America?
And think about this. We're having such a difficult time getting this administration to deal with China, whether it is the trade issues, the trade imbalance, whether it is great power competition, whether it's debt diplomacy. All of this is something we're having difficulty with this administration. They're very timid when it comes to dealing with China. They do not want to take them on. And Maria, that brings up an entirely different subject. Why are they so timid with China? Why do they seem to fear them? You've got China accusing the U.S. of bullying because they're going to see how far they can push Joe Biden and what they can get by with during this administration.
Well, we've already seen the administration cancel the China initiative. They're on the doorstep of eliminating the tariffs that were put in place on Chinese goods under the Trump administration. So why? Why so soft on China as they're pushing fentanyl into the country?
We don't know. Maybe it has something to do with Hunter and his relationships, or Biden Incorporated and their relationships with China. We don't know. We do know that many of these Chinese scientists or Chinese cartel groups have linked up with these Mexican cartels. They're producing drugs in Mexico, and then they're running them across the border, just as they're running human trafficking gangs, all of that coming across the border. We have to secure the southern border. You've got these terrorist organizations like the one that was attacking planning to attack former President Bush. They're coming in through the border. It has to be secured.
Well, we're just looking at video right now of an apprehension of one Chinese individual who was smuggling drugs into the country. You know, they pay, China pays up to $50,000 a head to the drug cartels to get people into this country. And, you know, it's amazing. They've already exploited the visa program. Why do they have to come in through the border. Obviously, they're hiding something by smuggling drugs in here. Meanwhile, I want to turn to oil, another major issue for this. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, and our sheriffs will tell you the majority of the drugs, as much as 80% of what they're apprehending, is fentanyl or fentanyl-laced.
Terrible, terrible. I want to ask you about oil because this is another major crisis that this administration is facing, has created. National Security Council Coordinator John Kirby dodged a question from Peter Doocy yesterday on President Biden's tapping of the strategic oil reserves. Listen to this exchange. I want to get your reaction.
But as a national strategic issue, then, how is it how much lower can we let the strategic petroleum reserves get before that becomes a problem?
I think I would refer to the president's energy advisors on something like that, Peter. I don't know what the inventory is, but I do, remind, and I think you know this, the president did tap into the strategic oil reserves to try to relieve some of the pressure at the pump, and he'll use a range of tools available to him going forward.
Senator, your thoughts on Biden's plan to attack gasoline prices via the strategic oil reserve?
Joe Biden could handle this with the stroke of a pen, just like he did when he killed the Keystone Pipeline. He could restart Keystone, which would give us 830,000 barrels a day. You've got people like John Kirby that don't want to say that, but they don't want to call the president out. But at the same time, they're trying to protect their integrity. And the American people have caught on to this. This week, my husband said, when he went to fill up the pickup, it cut him off at $100. And that is how much it is costing people at the pump. They are sick of this. You have to address the energy issue if you're going to get inflation under control. That has to be step number one. All of this saying, blame the Fed, blame this, that, or the other. Energy is at the genesis of a solution to getting this under control.
But you think this is intentional. They want gasoline prices to go higher so that people change their behavior, buy an electric vehicle.
Yeah. Go back to the Energy Policy Act of 2007, when Pelosi was Speaker of the House, and the work they were doing on climate change. They wanted higher prices for gas. They felt like that it would change behavior. And what they're seeing is people are furious with them because they have taken Alaska offline, offshore is offline, fracking is offline, and now they're going to go cup in hand over to Saudi Arabia, to Venezuela, and they're going to beg for oil. Let's produce it here. We could once again be energy dominant. And we've got some chuckleheads that are making decisions at the Department of Energy that it is harming U.S. families. It is running up the cost of every single thing they buy, whether it's gas or groceries or clothes or paying fees for kids to go to summer camp.
Okay, we will leave it there. This is just extraordinary. You cannot make this stuff up. Senator, thanks very much. Senator Marsha Blackburn joining us. All right, we will see you soon.